Hello, everyone. Throughout my time here at Moorestown Friends School, I have been in a wide variety of classes. Most notably for me are my art classes and my honors and AP courses. In art class, I have been able to discover several different mediums that I really enjoy, some of them being photography, oil painting, and watercolor. And I've even dabbled in some mixed media, like coffee. Now, every year we have an art show in school, and during this art show, students are able to showcase all the art that they've done that year, regardless of the different mediums that they used. For me, when I do this art show, I've had a lot of students, teachers, and parents come up to me saying this specific line: "Wow, you're so talented. I could never do that." This word talent I heard in both an art setting and also an academic setting. In an academic setting, when people were like, "Oh wow, you're so talented, you were able to do this project really well," or "Wow, you're so talented, you were able to complete this assignment on time," or "did it to the fullest extent." This word talent was told to me over and over and over again, not just to myself, but to students around me. And because of that, I became accustomed to it. At the same time, when I would talk to friends outside of school and tell them about the rigorous education, the loads of work, and also the hard tests, they would say to me, "You must be a genius." Immediately, I would deny this. Like, how could I be a genius for doing something that so many other students in my school do? Even though, stepping back from this, I was able to maintain decently high grades in honors and AP courses while toppling home responsibilities and toppling sports and a bunch of different projects and even clubs like where I am today. Now, talent and genius is seen in many aspects of our world. For example, many of you guys know many famous art paintings. For example, Starry Night by Van Gogh, Mona Lisa by Da Vinci, and The Kiss by Klimt. All these art pieces are recognized as the fundamentals of greatness. All of them are seen as talented visionaries of the world. And now, when you think back to a time in school when someone, maybe even you, was told that they were talented, maybe you were able to grasp a math concept really easily, or maybe you were able to draw very effortlessly, what did talent mean to you? Talent is less about the process and more about the finished product. And what about genius? We reserve it for a select few, mostly those who become historically important, but how often do we think of ourselves or even those around us as having the potential for genius? These ideas have made me want to talk about this subject. First, let's move into talent. Apologies, 1 second. Talent is, as it is typically understood, is the intrinsic ability to create something beautiful or difficult, but having it be easy to do. When we call a student talented in the art setting, what we're saying is that they are intrinsically able to do a certain kind of artwork that looks really, really hard to do. For students, this can feel like a ceiling, kind of like a borderline of this is what I'm able to do. For students with talent, they say to themselves, this is where I am, and this is where I should stay. For those without it, they believe, well, I'll never be able to do that. There's different components of talent that we all have to think about. The grit, the failure, and the resilience it takes to make art and to do anything is all there. But when you just say something was good because the person was talented, what you're doing is dismissing the behind-the-scenes grit, resilience, and failure that it took to create this. Now, I may not be a world-renowned artist or anything, but this art piece that I've gotten many compliments on, using the word talented, took 22 hours. 22 hours of changing the color, the tones, the composition, and even the normal art style that I normally compete. Now, every person who becomes a world-renowned artist, musician, or even scientist, they put in hundreds, if not thousands of hours of focused practice into their work. And by just calling it talent, You're dismissing all that hard work. Now, let's move into genius. Genius is a little bit different. Genius is a label that is only for the few. When we think about genius, we think about people who are able to make things that are specific to them. We think about otherworldly concepts. We think of people who are way out of our league. But what if I told you this is not what genius is actually about? Now let's look at the quintessential example of genius, Albert Einstein. Now, Albert Einstein was famously actually a bad student. The lowest grade that you could get in his college was a 6, and if you can't see, there are many 6s up there. For him, he did not like the formulated curriculum that they had within schools. He wanted to think beyond what we know. He wanted to think beyond what people knew about math and different concepts of the universe. Because of that, although he didn't fit into the normal talented student, he was able to use his perseverance, imagination, and determination to be able to become the genius that we all know him today. Now, at the same time, within schools, talent is what we are normally able to see. It is immeasurable and directly connected to grades, achievements, and awards. In school, when things are labeled as talented, it is very easy for people to be able to just see the polished product, to just see the A that person got. What genius is the process. Genius is the hard work that you put in every single hour to do this project. Genius is that path that you took to create this idea. Now, in a world where I envision that genius is able to flourish, there will be ideas that may fail. There will be work on projects that might not be able to fit into a set rubric, and there will be very hard questions with very hard answers. Now, within our school, I believe that we are able to implement a place where genius can flourish. In science, we can have labs based on essential questions, things that might not be able to have easy labs for or be able to have easy answers. History projects with important topics regarding students, regarding what they believe is important. In math, expanding approaches, showing that just not one concept is the easy way to learn, but to be able to have many different ways to go about it. And in English, reading diverse stories, which I already believe that we have been able to implement in the upper school with having different seminars for the 11th and 12th graders. In school, we need to be able to value the process over the product. We should be able to value how students are able to achieve this rather than just that A on a piece of paper. Now, going into how students are able to do this, students are able to show that they are able to do this through a few steps. It's the willingness to keep going, to be wrong, to learn, and to keep pushing forward. Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset has shown us that students that have these principles are able to, give me a moment, they're able to produce a product that has a deeper process. They are able to push forward. They're able to overcome challenges in a way that other students aren't able to. Now for me, I hope that every student is able to feel like they can be geniuses. I hope that every student is able to feel that their science room is the laboratory, that every room is a studio, and that our school can be something other than just a place for talent to grow. I hope that everyone here is able to know that they are able to be geniuses. Talent is just the product. Talent is limited, but genius is limitless. Thank you.